Leo, a very warm welcome. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. Those of you that are new here, welcome. And those of you returning, as always, a warm welcome back. So, Leo, this is all about December 2025, okay? Going into a brand new year, coming to the end of this year, guys. What's going on for you? I know some of you were ending things. Some of you were beginning stuff anew. Others of you were really focused, on your money and trying to live in abundance. Let's see what December holds, and hopefully there's some good news for you. All right, we're going to be looking at your energetic field, outcomes, what to watch out for, obviously, Leo. And one more shuffle. I want to go straight into this reading. I will clarify, so stick around, guys. I hope you're all doing well out there. Okay, all right, just watch out. A little bit of anxiety. What this is about, we don't know, okay? But this is like forward thinking. Some of you planning for next year, these kind of things. I know when we're having the festive season, it can be quite expensive. And then we're thinking, how am I going to see all this through? All right, just for some of you. All right, so the center of your reading, Leo, we've got the Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, so look, this can be, some of you might not be able to see family and friends at Christmas for various reasons, a very select few of you. Others of you, maybe a lack of reunion, or maybe you don't feel like celebrating. We're going to go deeper and find out what this is about. The challenges that you might have, or the challenge throughout December for you, Leo. We've got the Queen of Wands in reverse here. It's an interesting set of cards there. Some of you guys, there might be a lack of reunion, okay? Somebody might have been acting, it's like a lack of confidence, but also, very much playerism. That is lack of confidence, inner confidence, where they're looking for outside validation. But let's have a look at the reasons why it's all happening. It's going to give us a clearer picture. The King of Swords. So, there might be a lack of reunion, all right? Somebody might be fairly cold, okay, and a bit cutting with the King of Swords here. Although they are honest, they could soften the edges a little bit, okay? But it's a challenge. The Queen of Wands in reverse. I'm going to clarify, but we'll find out what this is. Recent past, all right, something didn't go ahead. Some of you, travel delays. You might have had that, or you may have that throughout December. Those of you traveling to see family overseas, these kind of things, expect some form of delays. Might only be a couple of hours or whatever. But something wasn't moving ahead, or there was a lack of coming together, and following a similar direction. And it might be due to someone maybe being a little bit wishy-washy, coming off as a little bit of a player, and not only that, but being quite matter-of-fact with their words, Let's have a look. Okay, your focus throughout December, Leo. Some of you are not accepting an ending. You don't believe that something is over, even though there's a lack of coming together, a lack of celebration, due to somebody's lack of confidence, okay? What you don't see coming towards you, we've got the Five of Cups, all right? Some kind of disappointment, Leo, whatever this might be. It's not a negative reading. Tarot is, it's guidance. We can make slight little changes here, and we can flip a card upright, just by changing the way we deal with situations, how we handle conflicts. Are they solution-based or need to be right? But some kind of disappointment. Your energetic field, okay, Knight of Wands in reverse here. Watch out, Leo. You might be coming off as a little bit of a player, okay? And what I mean by that, don't take this the wrong way. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. But your energetic field is, I'm going to go along with situations. I'm not going to overcommit to them, okay? Maybe I've been burnt before. This is the reason why, okay? Everything, there's always a cause and effect, isn't there? But the Knight of Wands in reverse, you might just be out there wanting a good time, okay? Now, when situations, and we've been hurt, sometimes we've been played and all these kind of things, we can actually step into that energy, guys, where we think, I'm not playing it, I'm not getting played ever again. I'm going to become the player. Just watch that, because that can get you into into trouble. All right. Let's have a look. So outside influences, we've got the Queen of Cups in reverse. There's a lot of people in this reading, guys. We've got the Queen of Cups in reverse here. This can be emotional manipulation. This could be somebody's emotions are off whack. You know, they're not emotionally balanced. I'm going to go deeper with this reading, Leo. Okay, in your fears, Two of Cups in reverse. Some of you, you know, you might have felt that you had a very deep connection with someone, but what you saw is not what you got, you know. So it's a fear of yours, some of you, to let go of what you considered was, you know, something quite beautiful with the Two of Cups. And remember, guys, you know, we can project all of our good stuff, our great intentions onto people that don't merit, you know, that attention or to be seen in such a light, you know. We just got to be careful when we're viewing relationships that are very young, you know, with this Two of Cups energy. We can put it on a pedestal. And we just got to be realistic about it, Leo. All right. So, but look, the outcome is the Hermit in reverse. All right. This can be someone is not accountable, or the Hermit in reverse is about you getting back out there. And when I see your energetic field, maybe some of you are just looking to have a good time now, getting over a lack of reunion with somebody that might have been very matter of fact, you know, how they dealt with you, Leo. Maybe you were thinking it was some kind of Two of Cups, and maybe they had a different agenda. But let's have a look. Let's clarify this now. Seems to be a bit of a love reading, okay? Leo. We've got Three of Cups in reverse, all right? Center of the reading. Lack of coming together, lack of celebration, lack of reuniting. Why is that here? Right, we've got the Four of Wands. Okay. Some of you guys, you know, some of you guys, just for a select few guys, remember it's not a personal reading, but some of you might be living with people, but there's a lack of reuniting, even though you're still living with somebody, if that makes sense. So, you know, very often we can go through bad patches, people move into the spare bedroom, these kind of, it's a very select few of you. There's a lack of reuniting, okay? Others of you, you might decide to cancel Christmas at home and go elsewhere for your Christmas. But the challenge is, yeah, look, we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse, and then we've got the Knight of Swords in reverse. Somebody might be quite unapologetically, kind of like a little bit of a player, Leo, okay? Very matter of fact about it, unaffected by it. And then we've got the King of Wands, and we've got the King of Wands, and we've got the King of Swords. You know, this is the reason why it's all happening. But I just wonder whether there's somebody else in the mix here. Okay. Recent past, Leo, we've got, yeah, you got over the disappointment, okay, of something not moving forward, or maybe not moving at the pace that you wanted. Some of you, you know, if travel plans are cancelled, these kind of things, you've got over that disappointment that you can't travel. All right. Yeah, look, some of you, okay, you might be feeling that something isn't quite over, or something hasn't transformed. Okay, this Two of Cups in reverse again has come out as a focus of yours. This is like the loss of what you considered was a beautiful union. But, you know, somebody might have portrayed very different sides to them. You know, this can be a little bit of multi-personality going on here. You know, one day, you know, what have I got today? You know, have I got the harsh, cold-cutting, you know, hurtful words of the King of Swords, you know, depending on how what his delivery is like. And then the King of Wands, attractive, handsome, pretty, whatever, you know. Just an energy, right? It's not gender specific, okay? Just energies, guys. What you don't see coming towards you, yeah, all right. Some of you might be a little bit disappointed about a breakdown of a commitment here, or somebody is non-committal, and you might be quite disappointed in that. Let's have a look. Your energetic field is, we've got the Knight of Wands, okay, with the Six of Wands in reverse here. You don't feel victorious, some of you guys, all right, you know, we're all accountable in tarot, you know, we can flip the script, you know, this might have been a Leo that was acting like a bit of a player, and They weren't really successful in their playerism for some reason. But your energy, Leo, just watch it. You know that you, if you've been played and you're disappointed and you're a bit heartbroken, all this kind of thing, and then we step into energy, right? I'm just going to go out and I'm going to play the players. You know, if you're a loving person, energy gets energy. Just watch that, okay? Because it can come back to bite you on the ass. You know. Um, and it will keep you away from victory, getting what you want. Okay, outside influences, Queen of Cups in reverse. Yeah, look, you know, somebody might have been very deceitful. Okay, Seven of Swords in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in reverse. For my female viewers, you know, somebody's disingenuous behavior might have really done a number on your emotions. Okay, made you lose a little bit of confidence there. Okay, in your fears, we've got the Two of Cups in reverse, and then we've got the Three of Cups. Some of you, this might have been something that's been going on for a while, where it's like break up to make up and all these kind of things, you know, rinse, repeat, recycle, you know, reuniting only for the same shit to go down again. Um, but look, you know, the outcome's great. We've got so many people in this reading, Leo. Okay, watch out that, you know, those of you that are in certain relationships, that there aren't too many people involved. You know, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Everyone's getting involved in your relationship or in your private life. So many people in this reading. Um, the outcome is you're going to get very clear that, you know what, I'm not going to stay, you know, down and miserable and lonely and staying at home. I'm going to get back out there again. I just need to temper that energy, that I don't run away with myself and, yeah, let's go out and have a great time putting a band-aid on hurt, because then we can get ourselves into trouble. You know, we can attract the wrong thing by trying to play the players, Leo. All right, just for a select few. All right, it's not for everybody. Um, Let's have a look. I wanted just to check it. I want to go over here because this is like in your fears. Two of Cups in reverse, right? Beautiful soul union, not happening. Or some of you might have thought that it was something very special, turned out not to be. Maybe there's three people in the mix for some of you with the Three of Cups there. Um, Others of you lost hope in a situation, but then you get back together, you know, and all these kind of things. And then the same shit happens again. Who have I got today? You know, handsome, charming, pretty, and then cold and cutting and matter of fact, you know. Let's have a look. Why is that here? As a fear of yours, Leo, throughout December. Why is that here? Okay, some of you, money might be a bit of an issue. All right, just for a select few of you, some of you might have regrets. All right, maybe there was, you know, somebody here might have been trying to play two people at the same time and it didn't really work out. There was no success in it, and now they have regrets. Is this you, Leo? You know, maybe having regrets. Oh, I wish I could have done that differently. You know. Okay, your focus. Okay, I'm protective of you. Sorry if I seem controlling. You know, some of you guys, you know, you might really place a value, or you see this spiritual connection with somebody, okay, and you might come off as controlling purely because you see such a strong spiritual bond. Um, is the other person as spiritually advanced? Do they see that Two of Cups energy? You know? Is this you, Leo? I regret my choices, but I know I need to live with them, you know? And then over here, I wish we could do it all again differently. I just wonder whether something has happened, Leo, where maybe you weren't aware of the energy that you were giving off, and it kind of like put somebody's back up and they decided, you know what, I'm disappointed. I don't really want to commit to this anymore. Just for a select few, all right? It's not personal, guys. But if it is about love throughout December, let's have some messages around love. Very mixed bag on the table, but loads of people. Just be careful, guys. You know, when we're in relationships, Yeah, be careful, where we get our advice from. Seek wise counsel, someone that's very neutral, that they're not friends with both of you, or certainly seek counsel from people that are in healthy, loving relationships as opposed to those that are in miserable relationships, because then they're projecting their shitty relationship onto yours. And it might be very far removed. But a lot of people in the mix here, Leo, just be careful, okay? I mean that with great intent, by the way. Calling in your soulmate. For some of you, this is a soulmate, and it might be very much a case of where you get back together, then it disappears again, and then it comes back together. Okay, and then we've got, so I think you're in two minds, Leo. I think part of you thinks this is my soulmate or this is a soulmate, and then, do you know what? Is it really worth waiting around for this to come back together and then to go pear-shaped again? Playfulness to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit and fun to shine. Your energy over here. Knight of Wands in reverse. It's very playful. It's opportunist. It just goes for things. It's not there to stay. For some of you guys, if you're going through something like that, give yourself time to heal. Don't force yourself into being playful and getting out there and becoming a little bit superficial, Leo, just to put a band-aid on maybe a little bit of hurt and pain, right? Because then we can attract really dodgy characters into our life because we're not being authentic, all right? And stay optimistic about your love life, Leo, okay? Let's have a look. I just want to... I want to have a look down here. The reason why it's all happening, we've got the King of Wands and we've got the King of Swords. What is that about? I've never seen so many court cards in a reading. Okay, this is quite interesting. This might be the same person, okay? This person, they might like to work out. They might really look after themselves. They keep active physically, just for some of you, all right? They might come across as a bit of a leader. But whether this is someone where, maybe you're on the outs with and you're living with them, maybe you're married or whatever, the divorce is affecting them, or this person might have been affected by a previous divorce and they come across as confident, all these kind of things, handsome, pretty, and then suddenly the King of Swords will kick in because they might not have healed from a previous divorce, just for a select few of you guys, okay? And that's when they start shape-shifting a little bit, they really go into matter of fact because they don't want to be hurt again, all right? Just for a select few. Something that's going to be very important for you, Leo, throughout the month of December in your healing, how to handle situations, something that you may have overlooked or something that maybe you could consider, okay? Keep an open mind, guys. Remember, tarot is just guidance, right? It's not negative. It really is about energy, Something for you, Leo. Passion, desire, fun, fulfillment, and joy. Some of you, your energy really is about, I'm just going out there and having a good time. Obviously, take care of your health in the process, okay? And then we've got pleasure. So, yeah, look, a lot of you might be seeking out pleasure and passion, okay, throughout December, Christmas, it happens, right? Purely as an escape. As an escape from maybe something that was on and off and never knew where you stood with it, wasn't going in the direction, you kind of get over that disappointment only to have this deep soul calling or energy pull again to this person, just for a select few. And look, remember what I was saying earlier, guidance, okay? Seek out wise counsel, Leo, when we inform too many people about our private lives, some people don't have great intentions for you. And then gossip leads and then suddenly, they're sabotaging your healing and sabotaging, the process. So seek out wise counsel. It keeps coming out in this reading. Be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you share your information with. Seek out someone that's very neutral in situations to get a clearer picture. as opposed to, transference, projections, all these kind of things, because it will just make you feel even more confused and may cause some drama and conflicts, when everything's morphing into one, you know. If you're a song throughout December, Leo, if you're a song throughout December, the lyrics might mean something, the band might mean something, the the lyrics might have some subliminal message for you. If it's not your genre, guys, listen to it once and then dump it, okay? Something by the Beatles, okay? Whatever that might mean for you guys, give it one listen. Just the melody might evoke certain feelings within you that are there to be brought up to your attention, your awareness, or to be healed. Um, I've done that. A positive message to love you and leave you. Very short readings today, guys. A positive message, Leo, for you, okay, throughout the month of December. Right, some of you, it's not a negative reading. Like I say, some of you are just going to go, I'm going out and I'm just having fun. I know that, maybe it's not going to meet all of my needs and wants, but, yeah, I'm just going to enjoy myself. I'm going to give myself a good talking to in the mirror here with the Queen of Swords. Be honest with myself. I need to get out now and start socializing again. And that's a learning curve as well, isn't it? For some of you, if you've come out of long-term relationships, back out into the dating scene, takes the time to navigate that as well, There's lots of catfish and whatever they call them out there. Listen to your heart, Leo. You're the only one who has the answer you're searching for. Quieten your mind and listen, it's there. Whilst you're in this energy throughout December, party, having a good time, anything to get away from shitty feelings, create some time to listen to your heart and what it is you're truly wanting, And friendship, Leo, you're an incredible friend. You're valued and a joy to be around. Again, for some of you guys, you might have an amazing friend there who is very wise counsel, and limit your need to express what's going on with you personally with too many people, because I'm just worried that there's so many people in this reading that everything becomes a little bit confusing. So much advice and so many people, wanting to put their spin on things that it might leave you a little bit confused. All right. So just watch that, Leo. Seek out wise counsel from someone who's an amazing friend. They could be very distant, right? And totally outside of your, someone you only catch up with every 3 or 4 months. And you go, hey, look, let's meet up for a coffee. Can we chat? I really like your opinion on something. All right. Wise counsel. Remember that, Leo. Actually, I've done one, but I'll do one more for you. Parting gift. All right. Positive mantra to put in your back pocket. Take it with you to boost your morale, Leo. Peace. Tranquility surrounds your life right now. A peaceful road awaits. So, I think what it's saying, Leo, just be careful. Limit yourself to sharing too much information with too many people, especially people that all know each other, very closely linked, in social groups and these kind of things. There might be some kind of a friend there. Meet them in a very peaceful. They might be a very peaceful person, but there is something about getting away from it all, creating distance from it, and speaking to a friend that's really going to help you navigate maybe what you're going through, or maybe what you're planning to do, or maybe what you keep going through. Okay, but there is wise counsel. Seek them out. Okay, be very important to you and quite instrumental in your healing throughout December. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. My name is Drew. This is Modern Tarot. If you like the content, please like, share, or subscribe. It means I can continue to do this for free for you. If you want a personal reading, you can reach out on moderntarot.net directly, or browse the YouTube Modern Tarot store, and I'll do my best to give you some clarity on your personal situations. In the meantime, have an amazing December. I'll see you back in mid-month, and if I don't, Merry Christmas. Take care. Bye.